Hi everybody, I'm Blue Nagoon, and today I'm talking about some of my favorite songs that came out over the past few months. Previously in these roundups I've focused on synth pop, but I'm going to open up the genre a little bit now and talk about some rock and indie pop tracks as well. I like music that has synths and guitars, I like old school songwriting with change-ups and bridges and stuff like that, and I tend to lean a little more towards indie artists. So hopefully you find something you like on this list. I'll put a playlist below too so you can check them out. Alright, first up is Secret Signs' song Starbody. I love the 80s prog throwback sound to the song. I love it, like in the intro you've got the synth and the guitar overlapping and then the tight compressed slap bass underneath. There are multiple sections, vocal sections, instrumental sections kind of going back and forth, things build up and break down. It's very satisfying construction of a song, and then in the end you get that repeat of the cool intro section. Next up is Beginning of Us by Primo the Alien. This is Primo bringing her, insanely huge and shiny modern production back to like synthwave territory. It's a great ride. The whole last minute of the song is exhilarating. There's the sudden vocal flex and the total breakdown and then the build up and then you add the guitars and the ad-libs over the guitar. It just keeps building. It's awesome. Next up is To the Sky, the retro version specifically, by Humans Can't Reboot and Megan McDuffie. So there's 3 versions of this track on an EP that came out in December, and the original version is like a house EDM type track, and there's a remix version, neither of which grabbed me, but I do like the retrowave version a lot. As you can guess, it's more of like a synthwavey kind of sound. McDuffie's vocals and the music just somehow work together better on this version, in my opinion. I think it's just the fuller, more analog sounding backing track, but it's a great song. Next up is Plain Folly's song Phosphor. I love the big drums. I love how the first chorus is kind of a fake out and there's these really sublime like synth lead filling in the gaps in that part. The vocal arrangements sound pretty huge for a pop song, and when the second chorus, which is like the real chorus, kicks in, it's just super satisfying. Then we go into a bridge and a breakdown section. The whole track is just really creative, and all the cool change-ups and sections keep the classic songwriter in me well fed. Also, if you're a Tori Amos fan, you have to check out Plain Folly's song from last year called Breaking Clocks. It's so good and it just nails that sound.
In my head, and I can't resist, chaos calms me down, but I won't.
Next up is Frank Chopin's song Love of Yesterday. This is a fun pop song in its own right. I really like the vocal performance. I'm not sure who the singer is, but she did a great job. But more than a song, this is like a classic synth sound museum. For anyone who's a fan of like 80s and 90s synth-based pop, it's super fun to play Spot the Sound. It's like, oh, there's Emo 2, oh, DX7 times, 707 toms, Juno pads. And then, of course, the cherry on top is the race car sample that I associate with Enigma. So yeah, good times. Next up is the song called The Waterfall by Kidia. I discovered this artist on Mastodon, which, by the way, Mastodon is fantastic. You should check it out. But this is piano and synth-based pop. I hear like a folk influence in it. I think it's the vocal delivery and the nature theme of the lyrics. There's really cool vocal harmonies and synth arps in the song. It's just a plaintive, pensive spell of a song.
You can never step in the same stream twice, 'cause the water rushes on. Yeah, the water rushes on.
Next up is Prism's song 10 out of 10. This is just super fun synth pop. I love the way the song builds up. The chorus is hella catchy. The vocal ad-libs between the chorus and the second verse are just killer. I love the guitar work, the clean rhythm sound in the chorus, the soloing over the last choruses. If there's one drawback, it's the format shift effect, which feels kind of shoehorned in just because it's trendy or whatever. But that's a very tiny complaint. The song is super fun. Next up is Sun 1 by Ships in the Night. This is dreamy, atmospheric synth pop. I really dig the vocal arrangements, the ahs in the chorus, the cool use of breaths. There's a really nice cello in the chorus. There's 4 mixes of this song on the EP, and for my money, the original is the best. Just keep in mind, if you check it out on Bandcamp, the original is the last song, so I would start there. Next up is a song called City Be Your Monster by UAP and Katie Tish. This is really pretty understated synth pop. UAP's voice is pleasingly low key. Like, he knows what he has and he uses it well, and he's not trying to sound like Bauhaus like a lot of dudes in the synthwave scene do. Tish's harmony vocals are really nice. I just love the chorus sections with the major chords and Tish's harmonies and the little synth motif going on. It's like a warm blanket part of the song. It's really satisfying. Really pretty stuff.
Someone light your way, gotta shine a light into your life today.
Next up is another artist I discovered on Mastodon. This is an EP called Let Down. The band is called Leosha. It's really original art pop, very heavy trip hop and like 90s singer-songwriter influences. Really cool sound design. I love the keyboard sounds especially. Abigail Hubbard, the vocalist, has a really interesting and dexterous voice. Combined with the trip hop bits, I get kind of Portishead influences, especially when the vocals are filtered. There's all kinds of change-ups and the tracks develop in interesting ways. The EP has 4 tracks, 3 of which are out now in pre-release, and the whole thing releases on March 17th. I can't imagine that 4th track isn't going to be as awesome as the other 3. Next up is a straight-up rock song by Maya Lakhani called Torn in Two. This is just strums, guitars, bass, vocals. Standard classic rock song. I love when she starts overlapping the vocal lines at the end. Yeah, just a straight-ahead great rock song. Next up is a song called Always Get This Way by The Aces. The Aces just always put out really satisfying, big-sounding pop rock songs. These singles are leading up to a new record, which I'm really excited about. And the secret weapon in the band, maybe not so secret, is Katie Henderson. The guitarist in that band is probably one of the best pop guitarists out there right now. She just fills the Aces songs with fantastic guitar parts. Clean, dirty, rhythm, lead. There's just all kinds of cool stuff and ear candy going on in those songs that are really satisfying to listen to and take apart, especially as a guitarist. So yeah, check it out. Good stuff. So my last few recommendations are songs that for me had some deal breakers in them because I have some hang-ups, the things in songs that I don't like, but I suspect that's just me, and so I think that other people will really enjoy them. The first one is Taruza's song Tiger Girl. I'm a big fan of Taruza's stuff, and I was really excited to hear him go in a more pop direction here. I really like the chorus on the song. The intertwining muted guitar parts are really great, and the background vocals and just everything going on. The deal breaker for me here is I don't like vocal samples, and there's a voicemail sample throughout this song. In fact, it's like chopped up and pieces of it are inserted between every phrase in the first verse, and I just found it incredibly distracting. But if you're okay with vocal samples, the rest of the song is great.
Just so you know, where you go, I go. You need to recognize.
And then finally, Carolyn Polachek's new album. Man, this album, I want to love it so much, and it's so good, it's so creative, she's a great singer, it's just like awesome kind of slightly progressive pop music. But for me, a lot of the album has the auto-tune pushed into the uncanny valley. Like, I'm all about vocal tuning to bring up a vocal to, a sort of a baseline level, or to rescue a take where the emotion's great, but the notes weren't quite, something like that, fantastic. Also, if you push the vocal processing to the point where like it's an intentionally robotic, like, Cher or even vocoders and stuff like that, it's not necessarily my thing, but I get where you're going. But I feel like with so much modern pop music right now, the autotune is pushed into this uncanny valley where the vocal just doesn't sound natural, and it's especially the slurs at the end of the notes, the scoops into the notes, that kind of thing. It just sounds so robotic, and I just don't think it's necessary, and especially someone like Carolyn Polachek who can sing the hell out of anything, it just seems like a waste. So I wasn't able to get into most of this album because I just kept hearing that. But if you're okay with that sort of trendy, modern vocal processing, unnatural style, definitely check this album out because the songwriting is fantastic. All right, everybody, those are my recommendations for the past couple months. I hope you find something you like. There are playlists below so you can check things out. Shameless plug, I recently put a song out called What If. It features Celisa Thole, who sang my previous song Hinterlands. She just goes off on this song. It's a fantastic vocal performance. It's a fiery R&B influenced track. I'll put a little sample of it at the end of this video. Thanks for checking everything out, y'all. Stay safe out there. See ya.
What if once I